Talk about important things like just who is the best James Bond of them all. Now, I know, of course, it comes down to like two people, and those two people are definitely not Remington Steele and Roger Moore, because Roger Moore is still the saint. You want a good James Bond, you need either Sean Connery or the brand new one, Daniel Craig. Now, I get a lot of different flack about that because with Sean Connery, he's so popular, and he's been so popular for so long. You know, and you say that to him, and he goes, "But of course I am." And with Sean Connery, you know, the reason why he wouldn't be the best James Bond is because with James Bond, you have to be able to interrogate, and that's why he sleeps with so many different women. But when you're sleeping with the women, he wants to get it going a little bit. So he's going to be going up to them, and and he might want to be having a little bit of fun beforehand. But Sean Connery, you got to remember, he's Scottish. He's about 1,000 years old, so he's uncircumcised, and he's going to be waving that thing in front of her face, and she's going to be like, "Get that fucking thing out of my face." The best James Bond would be Daniel Craig, because Daniel Craig is Jewish, and with Jewish people, they're circumcised. You got somebody coming up there, there's James Bond, he's like, "Here you go," and she's like, "I could eat." Now, last time I was up here, I guess I was ripping a little bit too much on the Asians, so I need to apologize about that by giving them a compliment. If I were a cannibal, I would love Asians, because for one, they're hygienic people, and for two, they're a nice light snack, so if I don't fill up on rice, I can eat 2 or 3 of the buggers. As far as like Indian food, if I was a cannibal, I'd be thinking, well, curry's delicious. But when it comes over to Persia, I'm thinking, I just can't eat that meat, Like if I'm a cannibal, I'm gonna have to bleach out that meat to get the fucking axe smell out of there. Really? There's like nobody here? Holy shit. Let's get talking about superheroes, because everybody loves superheroes. Okay, I think I see about 10 people out there. At least enough different people if I, make fun of your race, or make fun of your intelligence or sexuality, you can beat the shit out of me still, so there's still enough people out here. Sorry about this. It seems to be happening to everybody tonight. Okay. Now, with superheroes, Aquaman seems to be the laughingstock of them all. Now, with Aquaman, it's mostly because people don't rob riverbanks. There's not a whole hell of a lot of crime underwater. So with Aquaman, you got to do something, for his public image. You got to do something like you did with Jason Collins last year when he came out as the first gay player in the NBA. Now, with Jason Collins, he wasn't that great of a player, but he's always a good teammate, things like that, for people who watch the basketball. But when you go over and you see what happened 2 months later with all the media frenzy about him being gay, now they think he's like dick sucking LeBron, that he's so fucking good. So this is what you gotta do with Aquaman to make him a popular figure once again. Because it's been pretty slow since they're super friends. So you gotta have, Aquaman turn gay, so that way, do a brand new image. He'll be popular for about 2 months. You gotta change that outfit, because there's no way that a gay man's wearing an orange outfit with green. And the other thing is you can't just have Aquaman, fighting something really lame like intolerance or gingivitis or something like that. You need to develop an actual criminal that is also gay. Somebody who reflects all kinds of negative gay stereotypes. Like that horrible music, like that's horrible music. That's not even music at all. You need that guy to put every possible horrible gay stereotype out there. So you call him something, that they can really see and know he's the horriblest of the horrible as far as gay people go. You'd have to call him something like bitchy city fag. Or you give him a brand new, supervillain to fight against. And you'd actually have to take Stephen Hawking. Because with Stephen Hawking, he would make the most awesome gay villain. He's a robot, and then he's also a vegetable and a fruit. But he needs a really cool villain name. So you'd call him something like Dr. C and Z. But anyways, I'll end up with sports because, you know, it's 24 degrees Celsius out there, you know, so obviously everybody's watching hockey. You know, but hockey is like not my favorite sport because I think it's got the most grossest trophy of them all, the Stanley Cup. Just think about it. Once the guys win the Stanley Cup, they get to take it home for a week, each one of the players. And you can't tell me somebody hasn't pissed or shit in the cup. You know, and then the brand new team wins the Stanley Cup, what do? They drink champagne out of that cup. Dysentery. And of course, you've also got guys like Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky who were super awesome at hockey. So they're like really loving hockey, so they got the cup up, they're like, I love hockey, fuck me. Oh, okay, there's one over there. Okay, but anyways, I'd like to end up talking about soccer because soccer, either you absolutely hate soccer because it's so boring and things like that, or you absolutely love it and defend it because, you know, you're from another country, it's part of your culture, you bring it over, and then when people start ripping on soccer, you're like, oh my God, you know, and then you say, well, soccer's so boring, and they're like, well, you just don't understand it, it's so complex. It's the hardest sport to play. I'm sorry, the hardest part about soccer is telling your parents you're gay. Now, I know I tell a lot of gay jokes and things like that, but it's really okay, because it's more of a textural thing. Because I can never end up doing that fucking shit. Because like with chicken wings, you got yourself fried chicken wings, and I could eat like 50 of the fucking things. But you get those big chicken wings, and it's like, get that fucking thing out of my face. But anyways, we're just going to close up. Perhaps I'll do some other nasty joke about somebody who's also partially a robot. There's this one fellow, hang on one just a moment. You know, and he was out one day, had a beautiful day where he's just walking along, and what ends up happening, he horribly has his right arm ripped off in an accident, and they have to take him to the hospital. But they can actually offer this fellow here a brand new robot arm. So with that robot arm, he's just learning how the thing works. So he goes to the bar, and he's like, okay, arm, pick up the drink to my lips so I can drink it. So each time he gets a drink, he's getting drunker and drunker, and pretty soon he's got to take himself a piss. So he goes to the bathroom there with his brand new robot arm, goes over to the urinal, unzips his fly, he's like, okay, take it out so I can go pee. He's like, shh, you know, doing his business and all this, thinking about the day's events while he's peeing and all this. And then he gets to the end of it, and he's got to give it a shake. So he gets this new robot arm, and he's like, thump, thump, thump. Okay, it's still a little bit on there. I need to give it another shake. And he's like, thump, thump, thump. He's like, wait a minute, I'm not fucking dead. Okay, arm, jerk me off. Oh, fuck me! Oh, cocksucker! Anyways, the next fellow up here now is Jonathan James. Welcome up to the stage, please.